Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a student at Sam Houston State University, and today we are reviewing, analyzing, criticizing the topic of credibility and reliability in podcasts. I got this article off NPR called "The Coldest Case in Laramie." Essentially, it is this retired journalist that a murder came up in her hometown when she was a child, and she hasn't ever stopped thinking about it ever since, um, and always thinking about it. Well, it came up one day, and she ended up with new evidence. And this NPR article actually goes into the themes of unreliable memory and subjective truths that happen in these true crime podcasts that have become hugely popular, especially over the years. I can name 10 friends off the top of my head that listen to true crime podcasts, me being one of them. But a hot take that I took after reading this article was, why are we looking at podcasts by influencers or just podcasts in general? I mean, the narrator of this podcast is actually a retired journalist, so I know my husband would probably be like, hey, she's a retired journalist, she knows what she's talking about. But really, like, why are we taking all of this information on podcasts, which are kind of, I mean, they can be credible, but podcasts, I view, are something for pop culture, and something that kind of fills my time, like listening to music. Why am I taking that as a credible source and as facts, right? And so I really appreciated this NPR article, because it's saying, like, the unreliable memory of the interviews, of the information seen on the internet or by people who live in that hometown, and the subjective truths that are happening. But then this article also focused on how our court systems focus on that stuff. But that's besides the point. My thing is why are we taking a storytelling, as it talks about in our lectures, a storytelling perspective of true crimes, and especially because the narrators are trying to get more views, more listeners, trying to become popular. So they're going to kind of dramatize the truth. They're going to tell it by the information they gathered in their own perspective of these things, rather than straight facts, facts, facts. And I think this is really important, especially in pop culture, is because a lot of these people, I've seen two of my friends get into it because they're like, no, this happened in that true crime. No, it didn't, And we're kind of using this to shape our view of cold cases, or really horrifying events. And it's just like, this is just something someone is using to kind of put blast on something, and increase their following. That's my hot take on it.